Can the Tampa Bay Buccaneers continue their winning ways against the New England Patriots? Let's talk about it. Shout out Sleeper, by the way. More on them a little bit later on in this video. The Bucs find themselves with a pretty tough matchup, all things considered, going up against the New England Patriots, who right now are scoring 26.3 points per game. That is 7th in the NFL, everybody, and they're only allowing 18.8 points per game. That's good for 6th in the NFL as well. They have a really good coaching staff, by the way. You have got Mike Vrabel as the head coach. You've got Josh McDaniels as the team's offensive coordinator. Thomas Brown, former offensive coordinator in the NFL, is the passing game coordinator and tight ends coach. Todd Downing is the wide receivers coach. He's a very well-respected coach in his own right as well. He is a former OC, formerly of the Raiders and of the Tennessee Titans. Ben McAdoo is here. He is a former head coach. He's a senior defensive assistant. He's a former head coach and offensive coordinator as well. Doug Marrone is also here, the offensive line coach. He is a former head coach for many years in the NFL, as well as a multiple-time offensive coordinator also. So this is a very good Patriots team and a very good coaching staff just right off the jump, right? And I really do like Mike Vrabel. He's one of my favorite head coaches in the NFL, and I think what he's been able to do in year number 1 with this Patriots squad is really fantastic for them, right? Kudos to the Patriots. They are actually currently, everybody, on a 6-game win streak right now, okay? They're looking to make it 7 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They've beaten all 3 other rivals of the Bucs in the NFC South in the past 6 weeks. They beat Carolina in week number 4. They beat the New Orleans Saints in week number 6. They beat the Atlanta Falcons last week in week number 9. Did the Bucs a little bit of a favor there. So this is a Patriots team that is absolutely rolling. They've only scored below 20 points twice this year, and it's the only 2 times they've lost. It was against the Pittsburgh Steelers back in week number 3 and against the Las Vegas Raiders all the way back in week number 1. So this is a Patriots squad that is absolutely cooking right now. But before we dive a little bit deeper into their schedule, I want to talk about some of the stars of this team. Drake May is the guy right now in New England. A 74.1 completion percentage, 2,285 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, everyone. 17 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He's playing some great ball. Now, he has been sacked 34 times. We'll dive into that in a little bit here, but right off the cuff, whenever you look at those numbers, May is in the conversation for MVP, in my opinion, okay? And I think that he is the number 1 guy that you have to stop if you are the Buccaneers defense. Now, to allude to him being sacked 34 times this year, the Bucs need to get pressure. They do. Right now, so far this year, you have the Bucs as a team that has, let me see if I can find it. Hold on one second. They have 25 total sacks this year as a team, okay? So that's not bad at all. Their leading sack artist is Yaya Diaby with 4. Anthony Nelson is at 3. And then you have 2 guys, Levante David and Vita Vea, tied for 3rd with 2.5. So you're going to need a little bit of everybody here. And look, it just is the way that the Buccaneers do pass rush the past couple of years. Under Todd Bowles, it's not going to be one guy going out there and being a stud or anything. It's going to be some pieces of everybody, right? So this is still a Patriots offensive line that's trying to put it together. Will Campbell at left tackle, Jared Wilson at left guard, Garrett Bradbury at center, Mike Onwenu at right guard, and then Morgan Moses at right tackle. You need to take advantage of this, and you need to get Drake May onto the ground as much as possible and pressure him as much as possible, because I really do feel like that'll give you the best chance of stopping this Patriots offense. There are a couple of key players that are out for New England in this game. Firstly, running back Ramondre Stevenson is out. He is technically their lead rusher in terms of attempts this year. He had 83 for 279 yards and 3 touchdowns. However, their lead rusher in terms of rushing yards is actually Trevion Henderson, who has 283 rushing yards so far this year with 1 rushing touchdown. Drake May, by the way, as a scrambler, 270 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Leads again into the idea of bring down Drake May. But the Patriots' rushing attack really has left a lot to be desired in this offense. I mean, Trevion Henderson is their best running back, in my opinion. He's at 4.2 yards per carry so far this year. Antonio Gibson is also at 4.2 yards per carry this year also, so maybe you see more of him. Maybe even Terrell Jennings gets into that mix. I'm not necessarily worried about the Patriots' run game being a threat to the Bucs per se. I mean, it could be, but with Ramondre Stevenson out, it's just a lot of guys that are still trying to figure out their place in the NFL right now. However, the passing game has been a bit of a different story. With Drake May playing as well as he has been, you're seeing guys perform well. Stephon Diggs has 508 receiving yards this year and 2 receiving touchdowns. Hunter Henry, a piece I'm pretty worried about, 368 receiving yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. And then Kayshon Boutte has 431 receiving yards and 5 receiving touchdowns, but he is out for this game. So, your receiver that is second on the team right now in receiving yards, and he leads the Patriots in receiving touchdowns, is not available in this game. I hope the Bucs are able to take advantage of that and really key in on Stephon Diggs, Demario Davis, Mac Hollins in there as well. I'm hoping for a big game from Zion McCollum, from a guy in, Benjamin Morrison, in Jamel Dean, in Jacob Parrish. All of these 4 guys are going to have big roles. Same with Antoine Winfield Jr. and Tyke Smith. The secondary really needs to be on it in terms of coverage here, so you can really just stall out this offense, so to speak. For the Patriots defensively here, going up against this Buccaneers offense, so to speak, look, 3 guys really that have been studs for the Patriots defensively. Harold Landry, which we expect that. Harold Landry has been a great player in the NFL, formerly with the Tennessee Titans, now in New England, followed Mike Vrabel over to New England. He was a guy I wanted on the Bucs during the offseason, but of course I don't blame him for joining his former head coach. Clavon Chasen is out here with 5.5 sacks, a fumble recovery for a touchdown, and a forced fumble in there as well, with 9 quarterback hits. And this is a guy who's bounced around a little bit. He was in Jacksonville, he was with the Las Vegas Raiders, and now he's literally having the best year of his career with New England. So that just kind of goes to show their coaching staff there. Milton Williams was a big free agency piece that was brought in formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's having a pretty solid year so far this year with 3.5 sacks. He is probably going to be having a career year as well. But after that, you do see a pretty big dip in terms of the sack numbers for the rest of the Patriots. The rest of the team, besides those 3 players, have 4.5 sacks on this year. So it's very much a, hey, we have 3 top guys right now in our pass rush, and then there's everybody else. In terms of combined tackles defensively, well, it's Robert Spillane with 72 total tackles so far this year. Christian Ellis is right behind him with 53. In terms of interceptions, Robert Spillane has 2. Marcus Jones has 2. Jalen Hawkins has 2. And Marte Mapu has 1. You also have Marcus Jones leading the way with 9 passes deflected. Christian Gonzalez, a very good cornerback in his own right, has 5. So, again, this is a defense where there's not a ton of ways that you can poke and attack and things like that, but if we are going to take a look at that and say, okay, what can this team do to attack this Patriots team overall, it's going to be at the passing game. Because right now, so far this year, the Patriots have the 20th ranked passing defense in the league, and they have the number 1 rushing defense in the league. So you want to get Baker Mayfield going. You want to get Emeka Egbuka, Sterling Shepard, and some of these other wide receivers, Tez Johnson, going in regards to attacking that secondary. I think that's going to be your best bet to win this game and give you the best chance of winning is Baker Mayfield going out there playing like the MVP caliber Baker Mayfield that we have seen him play this year, seeing Tez Johnson get after it, seeing Emeka Egbuka get after it as well, and hopefully with Luke Gedeke coming back, protecting Mayfield and attacking that Patriots pass defense. I know some people are going to point to as well, like, well, who have the Patriots really beaten? right? By the way, Christian Ellis is out for this game as well, so that's another big note there. Maybe you may be able to attack the middle of that field a little bit more with Ellis being out. But I know a lot of people point to, like, well, who have the Patriots beaten, right? That, you know, they beat the Dolphins. They're bad this year. They beat the Panthers. They're kind of mid. They beat the Saints. They're really bad this year. They beat the Titans. They're really bad. The Browns. They're really bad. And then the Falcons, you know, which the Falcons are just a team that beats themselves, basically. And their best win was against the Buffalo Bills, okay, where they won 23-20. That's a great statement win for them, right? And a lot of people are going to point to, like, well, you know, they haven't beaten anybody. And I do understand that point, right? But look, good teams find ways to win football games. People, you know, have said the same thing at times about the Bucs this year, where it's like, they're not as good as their record. Like, right? But it's like, nah, man, good teams find ways to win football games. And in terms of qualities of wins, yeah, the Bucs have wins against the Houston Texans, against the Seattle Seahawks, the 49ers. Those are three very solid wins, in my opinion, right? I do agree with that. In terms of, like, quality of wins, you'd probably give the edge to the Bucs over the Patriots. But this is still not a game that anybody should take lightly and say, well, New England's not as good as their record. I don't fully believe that. I don't, because the proof is in the stats pudding, everybody. And we're seeing these guys go out there and execute and still perform well. You know, it's not their fault that these other teams are not as good or bad or stuff like that. No, I sound like I'm defending the Patriots here. I'm just trying to give you guys as much insight as possible into this matchup. And then also, we have to consider all the different storylines of this game, right? Where the last time these teams played each other was whenever Tom Brady was in the building, and he was playing against his former team, right? And the Bucs came out and won that matchup, and it was you know, good thing to see for the Bucs there. However, before that, the Bucs won the past 4 times against the Bucs in 2017, 2013, 09, and 05. So these teams do not play very often, folks. They play only every 4 years, okay? So the Patriots lead this series 7-3 right now. So maybe the Bucs are due to get another win here. The Patriots, you know, they've been winning a lot in this head-to-head in recent years, but of course, these two teams are always going to be tied together with the history of Tom Brady, with the history of Rob Gronkowski, maybe even if you want to throw the history of Antonio Brown in there as well. And they're always going to be tied together because of that shared history. So I do expect it to be a good game. I think it helps that it is at home as well. The Buccaneers have played very well at home this year. They've only lost once at home this year. So they are 3-1 at home, everybody. 3-1. So not bad at all. Away, they are 4-1. So we'll see if the Buccaneers can continue to keep their winning ways going forward. One more thing I just want to check is the ESPN. I want to check if ESPN, what their percentage is of this game, because I've seen a bit of a mix of people picking the Patriots or picking the Bucs to win, so I do wonder about that. Let's see here. So ESPN has the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at a 56.9% chance to win this football game. So it is close. It is close, in my opinion. So we'll see, everybody, but let me know your thoughts and opinions about this game. Do you think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will get the win? Do you think they won't? Let me know. I'd love to hear about it. One more thing before we go ahead and head out, everybody. Shout out to Sleeper, the proud sponsor of this channel. You guys can see I'm making some picks right here. It's just as simple as hitting a few buttons. If you guys do use the code MrBucs, you will get a 100% match up to $100. That is whenever you use the code MrBucs. Also, whenever you guys sign up, you get $20 for free. It is simple as that. So make sure you go sign up today. Enjoy football the way it was meant to be. That is together, everybody. I will see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.